Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cactus and Succulent Exchange channel. Today I have a video which is the second part of the video number 205. This is 206. That I'm going to show you a few different ways of propagation of Euphorbia decaryi or miniature palm. As you see, I have here many different elements on the table that I would like to tell you that when you want to do propagation, these things has to be handy. Soil, which is approximately 35% perlite and 65% peat moss or cocoa moss. Pumice, which generally goes in the bottom of the pot when you do ceramic design. For the plastic, you don't need pumice because they have lots of hole on the bottom. But for ceramic, since they have only one or two hole on the bottom, they technically need pumice to do a better drainage. But the plastic ones, as I have said, is like this. So there is lots of holes on the bottom, and it doesn't need any kind of pumice unless you are going to a very deeper level of the codicy succulent that they really need more drainage. You need alcohol, which I have some here to sterilize your knife or any other equipment that you use. You need pumice, as I have said, that is washed clean. You need antifungus, which is in the form of liquid. It's a powder that you put some water on it. And also you need a good soil, which I have told you to begin with. Now, we have several ways of propagation. The major professional way is growing from seed, which generally in the industry they do not use that method because it takes a long time. But you can do the cutting. Cutting means you cut a branch of a plant like this, so, and on Euphorbia, generally there is a sap that you have to make sure that you don't touch it with your hand, and also make sure that doesn't get close to your eyes, because Euphorbia does have a milky sap that is known as being a little bit dangerous and create irritation and itching on the skin, and possibly if it goes to your eyes, it's very, very hard to get rid of burning sensation for a while. Now, these are the cutting. Also, we have another one that is called clump. Clump is a portion of the plant that you separating like this, and you propagate it like this, which you create a very gorgeous shape. And another method is called separation of the branches, which I'm going to show it to you right now. The separation of the branches means that you pulling out the entire plant out of the pot, like this one or like this one, and you do the separation and keep them separately in the different 4-inch pots like that. Now, this is a little bit tough to begin with, to pull it out, but it is not impossible. For example, this one just came out. Look at the root. What you do, you wash it in the antifungus and you put it in the root hormone. It doesn't have to be this way, but generally it is better. And then you place it in the pot, like that. See, this is called separation method. Why is called separation? Because you are separating a branch with the root. Cutting is separating a portion or a piece of the plant or an arm of the plant without the root. This one has approximately 99.9% chance of growing. But this one has approximately 85%. But if it is in the wrong season, and if it is not done in the right soil, the percentage of growing and creating root every day is less and less until it's melting and fading away, like this. See? Now, I have to get this one out, and I show you exactly the bottom of this pot. It is very interesting to know about decaryi. Decaryi plant grows bottom way. When it create a new branches, the branches goes down into the soil and turns around and comes up. Isn't it interesting? It is very fascinating. The first time when I saw it, I was very surprised. Look at that. These are the branches that has been melted away, and this is the separation. Look at that. Look. It's very, very interesting. You want to do it one, you want to do it two together, you want to do it three together. It's all up to you. And this is the new branch that is going down, and then start turning around and grows back. Now, this is a very, very professional method, and that's, now I want to show you something. If I do not use antifungus, or I do not use this, and I just go straight like that, which 90% of the growers or people do that because of the cost of this powder and the antifungus. Still this will grow, but when I do it that way, other route, I am giving a lot of life into the plant to grow better. So sometimes some of the methods is not common, but not because it's not correct, because it's costly. I do not have any kind of reservation for anything that can make my plants to grow better. That's why you always see my plants, they look good. They are very happy because I used the right method. And look at this, it's beautiful. Now we have this cutting branch. So far we did separation, and if you remember, always the first corner part has to be different color to indicate that this tray is freshly planted. Means do not use too much fertilizer, do not use any kind of a spray. Is giving you information about this tray. If you have a lots of plant, always when you do any propagation or new potting, make sure the corner ones on that tray is different color. Now, this one is the cutting. See, we're gonna bring it here and use antifungus, correct? Dry it out and use the powder like this, and then place it here. Now, this one is a cutting that has been planted and is going to go in a different tray. Why? Because this one should not be watered. Just a little spray every once in a while since the weather is hot. But the separation can be watered very normally like any other plant because it has the roots and it can handle it, and it doesn't get any damage. So as we propagate, we separately gather them together in a different tray to make sure how to treat them. Now, I want to show you another interesting thing. Look at this branch. Look at here. Previously, this was a nice branch like this. I have cut it maybe a few years ago. And this one was in the middle of the plant. Now it has grown lots of babies. I hope it shows good on the camera. Look at these babies. And also the one that I have cut like this, not this one, but similar to this, the portion has become so thick and very healthy. Look at that. And it has a very beautiful long root. See? Now, we're going to plant this one. On this one, we cannot risk the root. We have to make sure that the hole is deep enough that the branches of the root sit in it well. Look at that. This is the way it is. Am I going to water this? Of course. Why? Because it does have a root. Am I going to water this one when I plant it? No, because it's a cutting. It doesn't have a root. So it is very important how to treat them for a while until they become strongly independent and in a few years become like this. This is very, very valuable plant, and growing it And separating it is very, very profitable for the one who wants to make money out of it. And look at this branch. It's turning around all the way. Look at this. These are the new ones that is coming up now. It's going towards top to become a branch like this. See? This used to be white color right here. Look at that. And now it's an independent branch. So always remember that the euphorbia does have a different directions of growing. It's going down and then it's pulling up, which is very interesting. Now, I want to show you another thing that is add to your collection of information, because this plant is one of the best for propagation into the ceramic pot. And you probably saw this one in the first video that was sitting on the table. This is the way I did it. I want to show it to you. Look at that. The pot is very gorgeous. It does have a very big hole on the bottom, and it does have a lots of pumice. So the drainage is very, very strong, and this plant is gonna dry well for a while until you decide to pull it out and separate it and put the rest back into the same pot. Euphorbia decaryi is, as I have said, is a very gorgeous looking, and the entire family of this Euphorbia family, they are technically growing the same way. And this is a hybrid which I have mentioned it to you on the previous video, which has a thicker branches right here, and also has a wider leaves. Is a mix of Francoisi and Ambo Wabbensis. Both are top, extremely rare euphorbias that everybody loves to have. Now, this one is finished, and I'll give some moisture because it does have a root. This one does have a root. This one does have a root. And this one. Now, at this time, I would like to show you the second cutting and tell you a little bit data about it. The question here is that this second one that we are preparing to plant it like this, how deep? You need at least minimum of 1 inch to go into the pot. See? Like this. The soil is moist, but moist towards dry, not moist towards wet. And this is what you do. You leave it on the different section on this side. Now, I'm going to clean up and plant the rest, and I'll show you the result at the end. Now, I have concluded separation and cutting propagation, and I like to give you a little information here, which is very vital. Generally, when you do the separation, which they all have a root, this one is one variety, and this is this variety. These are separation, which I'm going to show it to you right here, that we separate from the back of the pot right here. You see it's empty. So we did a separation here, and these are the separation from this particular one. As you see, there is about 15 nice looking clump and individual, and they all rooted, which we have watered it. But here the critical point that always when you do work with this kind of plant, which is high end, at the end when you are going to water them, for the ones who does have a root, use a little touch of vitamin B in your water. So 1 tablespoon per gallon to give the root a little bit more energy to grow faster and expand faster. And here, these are the cutting without the root, which I demonstrated for you. And this is a very beautiful separation clump that is going to be cleaned, the pot, and it can be sit in the house for years as long as you have a little bit of a light. Make sure do not water it too much, and the ones who are outside does not have to be in the 90-degree heat in the sun because they're not going to be able to take it. Generally, the shady, partial shade, and area that has a nice lighting, this plant will grow very well. You see, the branches are so nice, thick, and very healthy because they are in a greenhouse. One day I'm going to have a tour of my greenhouse in my house, which I have my private plants. I show you the kind of lighting that they have. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you do, please thumbs up. Like my video is very vital for me. I really appreciate if you do that. Subscribe to my channel, share my channel. I'm going to continue giving you a very much detailed information about cactus and succulent. And don't forget to leave me a comment. I like to hear from you what you think about this plant, how was my performance, and was it beneficial to you or not. I'm sure most of you really know about these plants. I'm trying to add into it. Thank you again, and goodbye.